Okay, real talk. You've been lied to your whole life. You've been taught that caring more makes you a better person, that pouring yourself into people is noble, that being emotionally available is what separates the good ones from the cold ones. But when's the last time caring that hard actually protected you? When did wearing your heart on your sleeve make someone respect you more? Never. Machiavelli, 500 years ago, this guy looked at human nature dead in the eyes and said something nobody wanted to hear. People exploit what they can reach. That's it. That's the whole lesson. If your emotions are on the surface, they're up for grabs. Now, before you click off thinking this is about becoming some cold robot, it's not. This isn't about turning off your feelings. It's about who gets access to them. Because right now, you're probably giving access away for free. And the people receiving it haven't earned it. Machiavelli wasn't emotionless. He was selective. He doesn't say don't feel. He says don't let your feelings decide for you. There's a massive difference. A surgeon feels nervous before a complicated operation. A great surgeon doesn't let that nervousness move the scalpel. You see the difference? Most people think detachment means you stop caring about everything. But that's not strategy. Real Machiavellian detachment is surgical. You feel it all, you just choose who deserves to see it. So why do we overshare? Why do we over-explain? Here's the uncomfortable answer. We were trained to perform our emotions for approval. Think about it. As a kid, when you cried, someone came. When you smiled, someone rewarded you. When you showed effort, someone clapped. You learned very early that emotional display gets results. And now you're an adult still running that same software. Now here's where it gets interesting. It's not just about protecting yourself from manipulation. It's about decision-making. Every major decision you'll ever face gets worse when you're emotionally flooded. Not a little worse. A lot worse. Science backs this up. When your emotional brain is in charge, your prefrontal cortex, the part that thinks clearly, literally goes quiet. Machiavelli didn't have neuroscience, but he figured this out by watching people destroy themselves trying to feel their way through power. The person who needs to win the argument loses the negotiation. The person who needs to be liked loses their leverage. The person who needs closure gives the other side all the cards. Detachment isn't cold. It's just thinking clearly when the stakes are high. Okay, but how do you actually do this? Like practically? Next time someone says something that would normally make you spiral, angry, defensive, hurt, don't respond. Not because you're playing games, but because you give yourself a 2-minute rule. 2 minutes before you say anything back. What happens in those 2 minutes? Your brain catches up to your gut. The initial emotional spike levels off, and suddenly you're not responding from a wound. You're responding from a position. That's it. That's the whole trick. A 2-minute gap between feeling and responding. Machiavelli would have called that the difference between a prince and a pawn. You know who benefits most when you stop reacting emotionally to everything? You. Not just in some power game tactical sense. Actually you. Because when you stop needing everyone's approval, and I mean stop needing it, not just pretending you don't, you get your energy back. Like, genuinely back. The mental chatter quiets down. You stop editing yourself to fit rooms you shouldn't even be in. You start asking different questions, not, what do they think of me, but, does this actually serve where I'm going? That's not coldness. That's clarity. And clarity, that's the most powerful thing you can carry. So here's the thing. Machiavelli's whole thing wasn't about being ruthless. It was about being real about how the world works, and then operating from that truth instead of fighting it. You are allowed to feel everything. Just stop letting everything run you. Because the version of you that isn't rattled by opinions, isn't derailed by drama, isn't desperate for approval, that version, that's the one people remember. That's the one that actually gets things done. Choose yourself, move quietly, and let the results speak.